Welcome to the Ask Jordan podcast, answering your questions about selling on Amazon. Now, with a mouth bigger than any fulfillment center, from Long Island, New York, here's your host, Jordan Malik.
Hello, listeners. This is Jordan Malik. You're listening to the Ask Jordan podcast. Every episode, we answer a question from you about selling on Amazon. If you've missed any of our podcasts, go to askjordan.net, where you'll be able to listen instantly or download those back episodes or get them on iTunes. Now, I want to tell you how thankful I am that you're listening. You have a lot of choices about listening to experts, about selling products on Amazon. You chose to listen to me. A big thank you. The responses from you have been terrific. I appreciate everyone who's commented, who's downloading. It's already one of the most popular podcasts on Amazon in the work at home section. One of the most popular podcasts on iTunes in the work at home section. And it's already getting a lot of popular ratings. So I'm very, very appreciative. Want to let you know quickly that I have a YouTube channel as well with different content on it that you can learn about selling on Amazon or eBay. And there's a redirect to my YouTube channel. It's bit.ly/jbmtube, bit.ly/jbmtube. That's B as in ball, I as in ice cream, T as in t-shirt, dot, L as in Lily, Y as in yellow, /, J as in joker, B as in boy, M as in motorcycle, T as in t-shirt, U as in under, B as in boy, E as in elephant. That's bit.ly/jbmtube. It's my YouTube channel. There's probably about 100 hours of content on there for you. So we're going to answer one question this episode, just like all other episodes. So keep checking back at AskJordan.net because future Ask Jordan podcasts will be posted there very quickly, each one answering another question from you, the Amazon seller. Now, you can get 7 of my best-selling ebooks if your question is answered on this podcast. So at the end of this podcast, in just a few minutes, I'm going to tell you exactly how to do that. Our question about selling on Amazon today is from Mike Markison. Go ahead, Mike.
Hello, Jordan. This is Mike Markison, the Nerd Picker. And my question is, how does someone go from just going out to thrift stores and yard sales and auctions, ramp up the business so that it becomes more of just a one-person business, but people that have VAs and everything else all around the world, where it becomes a world-class business? Just wondering, how would you answer that? Thank you.
Hey, that's a great question, Mike. Thank you for asking that. So I can't cover how to grow your business, obviously, in a 15-minute podcast, but I can give you the next steps to growth. Okay, now I'm assuming you're working, let's just say you're working 20 hours a week on your Amazon business now. That means you're doing a number of duties. You're out looking for items. That's your biggest revenue source, right? Your number one in terms of how much revenue you gain from your tasks is probably, obviously, finding products to sell. So whether you're sourcing products online or you're looking for products locally in your city, your neighborhood, in retail stores, yard sales, thrift stores, etc., that is the biggest revenue piece for you. So if you're only working your business 20 hours a week, and about 10 of those are spent looking for products, the other 10 are probably spent, I'm just making an average here, right? I'm just making an assumption. The other 10 hours are spent doing things that don't generate revenue for you, that are related to your Amazon business. That is, there's probably some bit of accounting, right? For you to be a real business, you have to match your costs to your revenue, and you have to, I hired an accountant to take care of that for me, but I have to gather those spreadsheets together every month. Okay, that's one thing. The other thing is, if you're like us, myself, my wife, we're getting products, we're bringing them home, we have to prep them for shipping. That doesn't generate any revenue for us. That's a task, right? So that means peeling labels, cleaning off the surface of books, polybagging items to meet the Amazon packaging standards, prepping items for shipment. That's another task. That doesn't generate revenue. That's a time-intensive task that needs to be done for the business to run properly. Another example is answering customer emails, dealing with negative feedback when it's posted, watching our inventory. The season comes up where all chocolate has to be removed from the inventory, lowering and raising prices accordingly, watching the competition, etc. So all these are indirectly or not related at all to the revenue piece. So If you're spending 20 hours a week in your Amazon business, the 10 hours a week is your most profitable 10 hours where you're sourcing products. You need to delegate as much of that extra 10 hours to somebody else or a process or a software or system, whatever, to take care of those 10 hours for you, because you need to get extra hours sourcing product. There's only 24 hours in a day, right? There's probably, if you're working the business, if there's only 20 hours in a week, you need to be allocating as much of that 20 hours you can as the biggest revenue producing task, and that is sourcing product. So what I do is I outsource or hire inexpensive help to help me with that. So I have an accountant that takes care of all the accounting. If you're going to be a real business, you have to get an accountant. Or if you're an expert in accounting, that's all you need. But my experience is people that are experts in selling products online are not experts in accounting. So that's a very important task, particularly if you're getting $35,000 or more per year in sales combined, Amazon and eBay. You really want to start paying attention to incorporating yourself as a business, etc. That's a separate discussion. But I have an accountant that takes care of all my accounting every month. I outsource to a virtual assistant, which I'm going to get to in a moment, the collection of all my spreadsheets and data. So I have the statements from my bank account where my Amazon deposits are placed. I have the same statements show the withdrawals that are made from when I'm purchasing products. And then there's the financial statements you can download from Amazon. Any seller can do that shows your revenue and the Amazon fees that are deducted from your revenue before the deposits are made. Those all need to be compiled together and sent into a nice, neat package to my accountant, because my CPA is $200 a month. I need to make sure she's not spending any extra hours on compiling data. So I have that done by a virtual assistant very inexpensively. It might amount to $10 or $20 per week for them to do that. And I'm probably paying her a little too much because it comes to like $100 or $150 a month. She could probably be paid less, but I like to pay my virtual employees a little bit more. So we also have a neighbor who comes in and helps prep the products for shipping to Amazon. That means peeling off the sticker labels, right? So we pay her a regular hourly rate to come in. Actually, we pay her per label removed because it expedites the process. So I pay her a small amount for every label she removes, and pay her a higher amount for every package that she pre-packages that things need to be polybagged or prepped for shipment to Amazon. So I used to do all those tasks, and guess what? Those are tasks that don't generate any revenue, right? Those are laborious tasks that are repetitive tasks that don't contribute to my bottom line in terms of getting money in. So that means that I or my wife can do more time outsourcing we spend more time sourcing product because we've outsourced these tasks to another person. So your net is that you're going to gain, because if you're only able to scout 10 hours a week, if you're only able to look for products 10 hours a week, and the other 10 you're outsourcing, the other 10 you're doing the menial tasks. What happens if you're outsourcing for products, looking for products to sell on Amazon 20 hours a week? The revenue that you gain far exceeds the revenue that you're spending to have those menial tasks done. Okay? So if you're spending an extra 10 hours looking for product, and that brings in, let's just say that brings in $500 profit for those extra 10 hours that you're going out looking for product, your outsourcing of the menial tasks, whether it be an accountant, a virtual assistant, or a neighbor, or all three, is only going to cost you, say, $100. So your net gain over that is $300. You're making $300 more because you've outsourced the tasks that were taking up your time, but you've replaced those tasks that were taking up your time with revenue-generating tasks, right? I hope you follow that. I don't know if I had the math correct, but I think you know what I mean. So your time is now worth way too much, right? Because you're such a good scouting person, and because you know what sells high on Amazon, you should be spending all your available time looking for those products and not doing the menial tasks that you can outsource for $5 an hour, $6 an hour, $10 an hour, what have you. Or in the case of the virtual assistants in the Philippines, it's literally like $1 or $2 an hour. Okay. So those are the first steps that I would recommend to you, Mike. And when you master those, come back to the radio show and ask your next question. Okay, Jordan, I've mastered that. I have people doing my menial tasks now. Now, the next level would be teaching somebody else how to scout. I used to do all the scouting for products locally in our cities around where I live in Long Island. Now my wife does it because I taught her, right? And because I can open up her bandwidth to handle those scouting tasks, that leaves me to generate other ideas for generating more revenue, right? So if it was just me doing it and not my wife, I would have to balance my time here looking for products online, doing online sourcing, and driving around to stores finding products. I don't have to do that anymore because my wife does that part for me. Okay? So people that don't have a spouse or a family member can hire somebody. The challenge there is to train them properly, right? So it's a lot of knowledge you need to disseminate to them when you hand them an iPhone with like the Profit Bandit app on it, and you have to teach them, here's how you go into a thrift store or go into a bookstore and scan books, and here's how you decipher whether or not you should buy the book. I said that's a big training process, right? That's not easy. But to grow your business is not easy either. So you have to think about hiring somebody at a flat hourly rate to go out and do your scouting for you. If you still like to scout, that's fine. Now you got 2 people scouting. Right? But that person that's making $10 an hour, maybe you want to give them a percentage of the revenue that you earn from whatever he or she scouts, is still going to, whatever you pay them, it's still going to be a fraction of what your overall revenue is going to be from that one person, particularly if you do their training correctly. Okay? So you really need to think about hiring and outsourcing the menial tasks, and ultimately, if you want to grow your business, having a replica of you doing the same work for you. So you have double the income coming in. Now, if you want to start with outsourcing tasks to virtual assistants like I do, I have various assistants for various parts of my overall company. So my Amazon business has like one virtual assistant that's dedicated to my Amazon seller account. And it's really just the accounting part. And then I have a CPA who manages the accounting for all my businesses overall, including my Amazon business. The CPA is just a certified public accountant. Okay, but my virtual assistants are, there's 5 of them total, and I pay them comparably you're paying them a mere fraction of what you'd pay in the United States. A good virtual assistant can run you $150 a month for higher end stuff is probably $300 a month for higher end stuff as it pertains to managing your Amazon seller account. Okay, so I want to give you a link to a book that covers the aspects of hiring a virtual assistant and outsourcing your work to them. It's not Amazon specific, but there's definitely things in there that you can teach them. It's bit.ly/virtualjm. So that's the web address. It's a redirect to the book on Amazon. I just read the book. It just came out. It's excellent. It's bit.ly/virtualjm. bit.ly/ the word virtual and the initials right after it, no space, J as in John, M as in Michael, all lowercase. bit.ly/virtualjm. Thanks, Mike Markuson. Mike Markuson gets 7 of my best-selling ebooks about selling on Amazon and eBay. That's worth well over $75 total. Mike, you can contact me at AskJordan.net. Click on the little envelope icon in the upper right-hand corner of the page. Just send me an email, let me know, so I can send you your ebooks. If you, the listener, if you have a question about selling on Amazon you'd like answered, go to AskJordan.net or call 516-619-online. That's 516-619-6654. If I pick your question to answer, you'll get 7 of my best-selling ebooks. Total value, total price for everyone else is over $75. And you get to hear your voice on my podcast. Hey, while you're there, subscribe to my free newsletter for Amazon and eBay sellers. I give away a ton of ideas, strategies, examples of what to sell, etc. Go to AskJordan.net, scroll down on the right-hand side. You'll see the sign-up form for my newsletter. Hey, thanks for listening to the Ask Jordan podcast. We'll see you again in our next episode.